Good morning everybody, welcome to another video. 22nd of December today, and you probably can't see yet, but just behind me there, peeking through the dawn, is the River Wye. Come down to the River Wye today for a little bit of barbel fishing. It's just before Christmas. Fancied getting another session in before Christmas because, well, the weather's sort of turned a bit more appropriate. I'll say a little bit because we've had a frost this morning. We've had if you think back, we had all this cold weather. It's been freezing cold for a good week. We've had snow. Snow's all melted. The rivers have come up, but the snow melted from a very warm front that came over. So I'm hoping that that's put the water temperature up enough to get the barbel feeding. That's the plan. I'm down here today with my friend Mick, who's not yet here. He'll be here fairly shortly. I'm just starting to get sorted out and get organised, but I think I'm going to get a bit of kit on because it's proper parky this morning, and we'll get down there and I'll run you through the gear. So guys, here we are. I had a bit of a walk up to sort of almost the middle of the stretch. Should mention I'm on a Wye-esque stretch today, day ticket stretch. Various rules on these stretches which you have to abide by. One of which is no worms, which is a real shame because I'd love to have used worms today. But against the rules, presumably to stop you catching salmon by accident. Don't really have a problem with that if there's a reason for a rule. It's fair enough. Now, it's just getting light, as you can see. It's about 8:10 now. Something like that. Shortest day of the year yesterday. Now, as I mentioned, we're down here, really, I think more in hope than expectation. We had all this snow melt. As I say, that's gone in the river, but it was accompanied by some rain at about 13 degrees. And certainly the rivers at home, the Avon near home, has gone up about 4 degrees since the weekend, so about 4 days. So that bodes well. Hoping this place has done the same. I don't think it's going to be a particularly high temperature. We'll do the temperature. It's probably a good idea. We'll sat in a swim where we can get to the water. I'm hoping we're up 7, 8. That would be nice. That would be really nice. But if we're not, it could be a real struggle and we could be fishing for chub today. Now, bait-wise, I've got with me two things really. I've got some luncheon meat, of course, and I've got some of my hotfish GLM boilies soaking in the glug there, which I absolutely love barbel fishing. Did think about bringing maggots, but to be honest, I'd rather use maggots if I'm sort of sticking it out in a swim and trying to build the swim up. I'm not doing that here. I'm going to flit about all day, maybe half an hour in a swim, something like that. Just try and drop on some fish. I think that's the way to go today. Water temperatures not looking great, 6.3. But as I say, it's going to be up from about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 degrees a few days ago. So hopefully that'll mean we'll get some bites. Right, bait, I've run you through. I'm going to go on a feeder. Use one of these Guru gripper feeders. I think we'll try with the 3 ounce first off. I've got some Dynamite Big Fish River shrimp and krill ground bait to go in the feeder. It's as easy as that, really. Just hoping we can pick a fish or two up. That's really the plan. Fairly short day as well today. We can fish till an hour after dusk, and dusk is 4:20, something like that. So we could probably fish till 5:20, somewhere around there. Maybe, as I say, maybe that we have to settle for some chub. And I have bought a few bits and pieces with me for some chub fishing if we want to go down that route. I've got some bread. As I say, I've got some luncheon meat, I think, which will be, the chub will be all over. And also got some paste to wrap these boilies in. So we're going to wrap these boilies in paste as well. If I can find it. Yes. It's got a bag of paste I've made from the boilies. I'm just going to paste wrap this boilie And as I say, I'm just going to flit about and try and find some fish. 6.3 degree water is not good at all, but it's 6.3 degrees up from 2 or 3. So that's a good thing. Right, enough talk. Let's get this in the water. See what we can do. I haven't talked you through the hardware, have I? 2¼ pound Dower power mesh rod there, 12 foot, and a GSBR LT 5000 reel with some Cart Spirit Velocity main line. Right, that really is enough waffle, isn't it? Let's get on with it. Now this swim is usually a pretty good swim for a bite. The water is up. It's up to it's up at about 1.8 meters on the local gauge. So it's about a metre up on summer levels, something like that. So it's just a nice level, to be honest. Just perfect, really. Just hoping we can have, well, to be honest, I reckon if we have 2 or 3 barbel today, we've done well. The other problem is that this stretch, well, it could be a problem, it could be a good thing. This stretch hasn't been fished, to my knowledge, for a couple of weeks. Now, that'll either mean the fish are starving hungry and we'll get some bites, or it'll mean they've just switched off completely and they won't be interested in the slightest. So we'll have to see. But I've come to a stretch I know reasonably well, because fishing in 6.3 degree water is not a time for it to be exploring new stretches. The plan is going to be spend 10 or 15 minutes in each swim, move, do that again, do that again, do that again, keep doing that, drop on some fish, hopefully, and then have a little switch around and perhaps redo some of the swims as the day progresses. And that's the plan. There's an otter in the tree next to me. You can see that over there? An otter in the middle of that tree. He's just noticed me, look. There he goes. Oh, right. I just had a right thumb on the rod tip. Well, that's not a good start, is it? Well, clearly some chub down here. All right. Well, we got a fish on. I told you I had a couple of thumps. I'm guessing it's a chub. It's trying to do me in the edge. Must have hooked himself and I thought I'll just sit here, it'll be all right. Only a little then. But we're off a blank anyway. Well, there we are. No monster, but very welcome. Wonderful. Right. We'll stick him in the edge for a minute, let him get his breath back. Yeah, he must have... told you he had a couple of taps. He must have hung himself. And like I say, just thought, I'll sit here. He'll be all right. Just let him right himself, sort himself out. And again. Oh, did I miss that? A thump and it just pulled round. Just slowly pulled round. Mind you, I've got my D-rig on, so It's really not great for hooking chub. Well, probably best start we could have hoped for aside from catching a barbel. There's clearly fish here. So obviously I'm going to stick around for a bit. In this swim. Oh, pace nearly rolled in the river. Oh, dear. Get in there. Right. Yeah, as I say, chub are clearly here, clearly up for a feed. Yeah, I know from having fished here where the water's low that there's a gully in here. From about a third of the way across, perhaps a quarter of the way across, it's very, very shallow. Not that you know it now. And there's a nice gully in here, down the side of me here. Just down sort of under that tree there. There's a nice gully. And the fish do love to sit in here. We'll stick it out here for a bit as we're getting some bites. Well, the chubby bites have stopped. I've had knock for perhaps 10 or 15 minutes. So I'll give it another 5, I think, and then I'm going to have a move. Really don't think there's any point sitting around today waiting for something to happen. I need to go and make it happen. Well, drizzle is here, as you can see, I'm sure. It's a bit yuck. But you got to be in it to win it, as they say. So we'll keep on. Mick's done, I think, about 4 swims now. 4 or 5? 4. Without anything so far. I've just done that 1. I'm hoping we cover all these swims. Perhaps cover them all twice. Between us. We might at least be able to nick a fish each, or dare I say 2. That'll be nice. Oh, it's drizzle. Horrible. We'll start close in, I think. Work our way out if we need to. Quite a lot of this stretch has the deeper water on the inside, so not really often a need to go too far out. Well, can't moan at the Met Office today. They did forecast drizzle, and that's exactly what we're getting. So, as I say, I do moan about the Met Office quite often, but not today. Not if they've got it right. So, quick update. It's rained a bit, got a bit muddy. Apart from that, nothing's happened. I've had 1 chubby knock in one of the swims, further upstream. Don't tend to catch too many chub along this particular bit. The chub seems to be more down in the lower end, so not too surprised we haven't had many chubby knocks up here. Done 4 swims up here now in this field, but like I say, with 1 knock, and that's been it. But we'll keep at it. We've got all day. Just trying to drop this bait in front of a fish, really. I thought of sort of trundling the bait around, but I'm sure they're really not going to be interested in chasing baits around. The barbel I'm talking about. I've not spoken to Mick for an hour or so, but last I heard he hadn't had a bite yet. I'm hoping he's at least had a chub or 2. But yeah, tough going. Was a bit of a gamble coming today. I like to come in the winter when there's a proper warm flood bangs through. But this one, I think it would have been a warm flood had it not been for all the snow melt. And all the melted snow has kept that temperature down. I think it would probably been 8 or 9 degrees today if we hadn't had all that snow melt going as well. All right. Oh, well. I hope you saw that. That was a proper chubby clang. 2 proper thumps. But I've got this boilie on a D-rig, so it's not ideal. Not ideal for chub fishing. We'll give it a few minutes in here, and then we'll perhaps put a bit of meat on. Get the hook right inside the in the meat. Then if he's got the bait in his mouth, he'll have the hook in his mouth. Well, that's good. I've only been in here a few minutes. We've had a knock, so clearly some fish here sitting on that crease as suspected. Donk. Right. A couple of very aggressive tugs. And again. Well, certainly some chub in here. Oh, well, I thought we were in then. We are. We're into a snag. There we go. Managed to pull into a snag. I thought we were in then. It's often the case though, you can go downstream and give it a pull from downstream and it comes out. Well, yeah, the chubber here certainly. Oh, a bait runner on. Because I had my hands off the rod. Well, there you go. I've got him. This chub that's been giving us bites. I always forget when I put the bait runner on. I was just thinking about putting a... Is it a chub? It is a chub. I thought it was there for a second. Of course, a proper one. Oh, it's cracking. There we go. Well, that's a nice chub. Well, that's about that. Cracking fish. That's wonderful. I'm really pleased with that. That's a lovely fish, that is. Wonderful. Fab. Right, I'll let him get his breath back. Wonder if he's down there with any mates. Literally, I had my bait runner on because I was just about to, just digging around and baiting up another hook lick with some luncheon meat. And whenever I stick my bait runner, I always forget to put it on because I don't use it really very often, except when I'm not got at least one hand on the rod. Right, we'll get this fella back. There he goes. Wonderful. Well, that's cracking. Oh, my teasel's off the net. Cracking stuff. Right, we will go with a bit of luncheon meat now. Am I catching his big brother? The barbel are not going to come to the party. Can't think he's down there on his own. Well, there are a few more knocks in there, but nothing really to strike at or certainly not connect with. So we'll have a move, I think. You know, we've always got the option to come back. Well, since it's started to get a bit darker, not getting bites off anything. Oh, it looks like a bit of weather might be coming over as well, which is not good. So guys, 4:30. Still a little bit of light in the sky, as you can see. It's misted over. Gone quite foggy. I don't think it's mist off the water. The water's quite cold. It's just fog. It's just gently rolling in. I'll say 4:30. I think I'm going to give it till 5 at the most. It looks like it might start raining in a minute. To be honest, I'm probably not going to sit here, get soaked, and get no bites in the dark. So if it starts raining, I should probably call it a day early. But at the moment, I'm thinking I'm going to give it till 5. Not heard anything from Mick, but I haven't got a signal, so I wouldn't really. No signal at all here. There's a little bit of a pluck. I'm getting the odd one like that, the odd little pluck, and you know, then nothing again for sort of 5 minutes. You know, a little pluck then and nothing. It's clearly chub down there, just plucking away at the bait. Just want a big whack round really on the tip. It's got a fairly tight line to the feeder because I'm only fishing just down here. Don't need to pay a bow line out because the feeder's pretty much downstream directly from my rod top. So there's no need to pay any line out. Because I've got a tight line, I get much better bite indication, so I can see all these little rattles and taps. Well guys, it's just gone 5 o'clock. just started to rain, as you can see, and there's very little happening here. Getting the odd chubby clang and the very occasional unmissable chub bite that I'm missing. And I'm sure it's because I've got this D-rig on, but been sitting on my hands a little bit as well, leaving the clangs, hoping they develop, but absolutely nothing doing. And just heard from Mick as well, and he's not done any good. He's moved down to the slack, so we covered both bases and neither of them turned up trumps. But it was always going to be a bit of a gamble today. The water hadn't warmed up as much as I'd have liked with all the snow melt that's gone in, and we thought we'd get a session in anyway, just purely because with Christmas coming up, it's also forecast to go a bit colder as well. We thought we'd get a session in before the cold weather hit again, and hadn't paid off on this occasion, but you never know, do you, until you go. I was thinking when I was scraping the ice off my windscreen this morning, what are you doing? But going barbel fishing, but you don't know until you try, do you? Anyway, I'm waffling. Time to go home. Now, we'll be out again, hopefully before Christmas, if not between Christmas and New Year, a bit closer to home. The rivers are very high at the moment. Just need to wait for them to run off a little bit, and I'll be definitely on one of the tributaries or I'm back on the Avon. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Tight lines, enjoy your own angling. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your wonderful support, and I'll see you all again very soon.